Masnavi Maulana Rumi is a very much popular book of the world as it offers different dimensions of mysticism, different dimensions of religious instruction, and different dimensions of human behavior. So Masnavi Maulana Rumi is a very much pertinent book to think it over and to seek guidance from it. So Daftar 5 or Book 5 starts with this line, Shah Samuddin ke noor anjum mast, Shah Samuddin ke noor anjum mast, Talib Agha Safar Panjam mast, Ziaula ko Samuddin Raad, Ustada Safara Ustad. The king Husamuddin, who is the light of the stars, demands the beginning of the fifth books. O Ziaul Haq, noble Husamuddin, master to the masters of purity. Garnabude Khalq Mahbub Mahjub Kasif, Varnabude Halka Tangu Zaif. If the people were not veiled and gross, and if their throats were not narrow and feeble, Darmadi Dad Mane Dad Me Gair E Mantake Lambi Bugushad Me. In praise of you, I should have done justice to the reality and expressed myself in language other than this. So these were the opening lines of Masnavi Maulana Rumi, and those opening lines focus on the start of that fifth book with the name of Ziaul Husamuddin, that was disciple of Maulana Rumi. Masnavi is a magnum opus consisting of 6 daftars containing approximately 25,000 or 26,000 couplets. Rumi composed it during the last 15 years of his life, from 2058 to 2073, with the assistance of his beloved disciple Husamuddin Chalabi, who wrote down the verses as Rumi dictated him. With this architecture, within this architecture, book 5 occupies the penultimate position. It serves as the bridge between spiritual realization and the culmination of mystical journey completed in book 6. While the earlier books emphasize ethical reform, self-knowledge, and the acquisition of spiritual insight, Book 5 shifts attention towards transcendence of the ego, complete surrender to divine will, and reparation for mystical union with God. Distinctive characters of Book 5 are: it represents one of the most mature expressions of Rumi's mystical Quranic exegesis, symbolic storytelling. It explores the advanced Sufi doctrines such as Fana, or annihilation of the self, Baka, or subsistence in God, divine love or ishq, spiritual poverty or fakr, complete reliance on God or tawakkul, the perfect human or insan-e-kamil. It functions as the intellectual and spiritual preparation for the unfinished but climactic book 6th. Historical background of Book 5 is it belongs to the final phase of Rumi's literary career. By this period, Rumi has become a leading spiritual master of Konya. His teachings had evolved from formal religious scholarship to profound mystical experience following his encounter with Shams Tabrizi. His Sufi order was expanding, requiring a systematic work for the instruction of disciples. Intellectual climate presented in this book is that Book 5 emerged during the 13th century Seljuk period, an era marked by Mongol invasions and political instability. Cultural interaction among Persian, Arab, Turkish, Greek, and Central Asian traditions, flourishing Sufi institutions across Anatolia, increasing interest in ethical and spiritual guidance amidst social upheaval. Rather than responding directly to political crisis, Rumi addresses the deeper spiritual causes of human suffering, emphasizing the transformation of inner self as the basis for social and moral renewal. Literary influence on this book are, as this reflects the Quran, prophetic traditions, Persian mystical poetry of Sanai's Hadikatul Haqaiq, Athar's Mantakut Tair, folk tales, fables, and historical anecdotes, biblical and Quranic prophetic narratives. Rumi transformed these diverse sources into unified mystical discourse through symbolic storytelling and philosophical reflections. Importance of Book 5 in Rumi's intellectual development. Book 5 represents the culmination of Rumi's mature thought and is often regarded as one of the most philosophically sophisticated sections of the Masnavi. Culmination of mystical thought. By book 5, Rumi moves beyond discussions of external religious practice towards the experiential realization of divine reality. Knowledge is no longer merely intellectual but becomes transformative and existential. Integration of reason and love. Earlier books explore the relationship between reason and spiritual knowledge. In Book 5, Rumi presents reason as fulfilled, not abolished by divine love, where intellect reaches its highest purpose through illumination rather than argument. Development of the doctrine of Fana. Book 5 provides one of Rumi's fullest treatments of Fana, describing the resolution of the ego as the necessary condition for realizing God's presence. This theme becomes central to his mature mystical anthropology. Mature spiritual psychology. Rumi's analysis of human soul reaches a high level of sophistication, examining ego, heart, spirit, intellect, desire, imagination, and self-awareness. He portrays spiritual development as a dynamic process of purification leading to inner freedom. Universal vision provided in this book is that the book 5 broadens Rumi's outlook from individual spiritual discipline to a universal vision of humanity. Divine love transcends ethnic, religious, and cultural boundaries, presenting all creation as manifestations of single reality. Pedagogical mastery. Book 5 demonstrates Rumi's Rumi's mature teaching method. Narrative within narrative, symbolic interpretation, dialogues, humor and irony, Quranic allusions, philosophical digressions, psychological insight. These techniques allow abstract metaphysical ideas to be communicated through vivid stories accessible to a wide audience. Transition to Book 6. 5 functions as spiritual threshold of the Book 6. If the earlier books prepare the seeker through purification and knowledge, Book 5 prepares the seeker for the complete realization of divine unity that Book 6 develops before ending unfinished with Rumi's death in 1273. Key takeaways from this Book 5 are: first, the annihilation of the ego or fana. Murdasho ta mukhrajul hayy ayadat, zindasho ta jaan afza yadat. Die to the lower self so that the living one may bring you forth. Become truly alive so that the soul of souls may increase your life. The greatest obstacle between humanity and God is the ego or nafs. True spiritual realization begins only when the false self is surrendered. Spiritual death precedes spiritual life. Ego must disappear before divine reality becomes manifest. Fana is the transformation, not physical death. Second, divine love transforms human nature. Love is the supreme force that purifies intellect, emotions, and character. Ishq amado shud chukhunam andar raggo post. Ishq amado shud chukhunam andar raggo post. Love blood into my veins and skin. Takard muratahi wa purkard dost. It emptied me of myself and filled me with my beloved. Places selfishness. Divine love creates a new spiritual identity. Knowledge without love remains incomplete. Number third takeaway is knowledge must become experience. Book learning is only the beginning. Real knowledge is direct spiritual realization or marfa. Ilm chum bardil zanad yari shod. Ilm chum bartan zanad bari shod. When knowledge enters the heart, it becomes a freight. When it remains upon the body, it becomes a burden. So, intellectual learning should transform character. Inner realization is superior to memorization. Wisdom combines knowledge with practice. Number 4, everything reflects divine unity. Everything reflects divine unity. Multiplicity is only apparent. All existence points towards one reality. हर चबीनी जुज खुदा आ बुत बोध जहाँ फिदाए आंके ओ आयत बोध. Whatever you see apart from God is an idol. Blessed is the one who sees every sign as pointing towards him. So diversity conceals unity. Creation functions as divine science or ayat. Spiritual vision perceives God beyond appearances. Number 5, the heart is the true sanctuary. God is encountered through the purified heart rather than external forms alone. Kaaba dilra tawaf kunne jam dilra tawaf kunne jam pak. Circumambulate the Kaaba of the heart of pure soul. Zahan ke anja hast ganj be halak. For there lies the everlasting treasure. Inner purification surpasses external ritual. The heart becomes the dwelling place of divine presence. Number 6, patience is essential for spiritual growth. Every spiritual trial prepares the seeker for greater illumination. Sabr talakh Ahmad Walekin Akabat. Sabr talakh Ahmad Walekin Akabat. Patience is bitter at the first. Meva Shiri Dahad par Munfat. Yet its fruit is sweet and full of blessing. Spiritual maturity requires perseverance. Hardship becomes a means of divine education. Number 7, the spiritual guide is necessary. One cannot safely traverse the mystical path without an experienced guide. बेदलीले ही राह नतवा रफ्तन, बेदलीले ही राह नतवा रफ्तन. This path cannot be traveled without a guide. Gar hazara akuldari darbadan, even if you possess 1,000 intellectuals. So intellect alone is insufficient. Spiritual mentorship protects against self-deception. Number 8, humility opens the door to God. Pride separates, humility unites. हर के वो उस्ताद हक बर्दाश्तस, हर के खुद रादीद हक बेगुजाश्तस. Whoever humbled himself was raised by God. Whoever saw only himself was left behind. Humility is the gateway to enlightenment. Self-importance obstructs spiritual realization. Number 9, every trial conceals mercy. What appears as suffering often contains hidden divine wisdom. Zakham chu ayat charag dil shod, dard ayat ka dawa hasil shod. The wound becomes the lamp of the heart. Pain arrives so that healing may appear. Trials refine the soul. Difficulties become instrument of spiritual awakening. Number 10, the goal is union with beloved. Book 5 culminates in the seeker's preparation for complete union with God, which reaches its fullest expression in book 6. Chumb hak pevast jan az khesh rast, katra chun darbar shud darya shudast. When the soul united with the truth, it was freed from itself. Like a drop entering the sea, it became the ocean. So the highest spiritual state is union with divine reality. Individuality is transformed, not destroyed. Book 5 prepares the seeker for culmination of the Masnavis in book 6. 10 important lessons of book 5 are: defeat the ego before seeking God. Firstly, defeat the ego before seeking God. Divine love is the highest teacher. Knowledge must become lived experience. See unity behind multiplicity. Purify the heart as the true sanctuary. Patience transforms suffering into wisdom. As it is said, uses of adversity. Follow authentic spiritual guidance. Humility opens the way to divine grace. Every hardship carries hidden mercy. The ultimate goal of the human existence is union with the beloved through love, surrender, and self-transcendence. So, these were the major messages from this book, book 5. And book 5 starts Husamuddin, and it is purification of human soul, human behavior, and in this way Rumi Saab says says that how we can move in this path with the guidance of mentorship. So in this way, Rumi Saab concludes this book कि हर वजूद कज अदम बेनमूद सर हर यके ज़हर अस्त व हर दीगर शकर. Every existence that emerged from non-existence is poison to one and sugar to another. दोस्त शो वज खुए नाखुश शो बरी ताज खमर हम जहर हम शकर खोरी. Be a friend and become quit of sour qualities so that you may eat sugar even from a jar of poison. ज़आं नशुद फारूक रा ई गुज़न के बद आं तरियाक फारूकश कंद. A poison did no harm to Farooq because to him the antidote, discrimination or Farooqi, was sweet as candy. So he concluded the book fifth on these lines, and the book offers very wonderful and interesting message to any person who is pursuing mystical path, who is pursuing even mundane affairs. He can seek guidance from it. Thank you very much. You have watched me, and kindly share your opinion and also your views on this discussion. Thank you.